Drive project once again, and you're joining us as we finally left the cities behind and entered into the true northeast. Now we are just on the border of Siliguri, which is the border of West Bengal and Sikkim. And you're joining us on the Green Drive project in Ravangla, where we've taken a small detour to come see a very historic place. The Buddha Park in Ravangla is one of the most beautiful places that we've seen on our trip so far, and we're looking forward to many more such places.
So the Green Drive project has progressed further into the west, and we've reached the little run of Kutch, which you can see right behind me. But this is supposed to be a salt flats, and we're traveling in the peak of monsoons, which is why you can see a lot of water that has accumulated. But nature being so powerful, with all that water, nothing will still grow on this surface because there's a lot of salt in the surface. But at the same time, nature also allows for life to flourish around this place. As you can see, there's a lot of greenery around, and we're trying to further this process by planting as many trees as possible around this region.
Another day on the road, and we are headed to Bengaluru today. And the Chittoor-Bengaluru highway is a beautiful stretch of road, and what we are enjoying are the sights of the Rocky Mountains all around. It's a beautiful sight, and we have a packed day in Bengaluru, planting trees and having interactions with customers and things like that. So stay tuned, we are getting into Bengaluru as we speak.
As we crossed Namsai and savored our last taste of tarmac towards our terminal destination in Kaho, we were presented with roads, well, if you can call them that, that barely had space for a single vehicle, with the mountain face on one side and sheer drops on the other, and massive craters in between. Although fuel stations were few and far in between, the Scorpio-N's long-range fuel tank meant that we never really had to worry in between fuel ups. We had come down to a snail's pace, covering a little more than 100 kilometers each day. Roadblocks all along the way meant that we spent more time outside the car than in it. Not that we were complaining. Each stop meant that for the first time on this drive, we had a chance to stop and smell the metaphoric roses, taking in the incomprehensible vistas around us.
The drive out of Bengaluru was quite an eventful one, and the city traffic took no prisoners. But once on the Mysore highway, things became light, and we stopped at Ramnagaram. The little town's claim to fame was that the iconic Bollywood flick Sholay was shot here. An entire town was created, and one can also trek up to the hill, enjoying and enacting the iconic characters like Gabbar and Thakur. For us, it was more like kitne kilometers the. So we headed towards Mysore, where the Mysore Palace was the next source of architectural solace for us. The architectural style of the domes of the palace have influences coming from Hindu, Mughal, Rajput and Gothic styles. But our time at the palace was cut short when we came to know that the Karnataka and Kerala border would be shut in the evening as it passes through the beautiful Bandipur forest. Pedal to metal time as we thankfully made it through the lush green forest in the nick of time.
Having driven through the Chandigarh, Mohali, Panchkula Tri-City area, we made our way through Punjab, driving past the cities of Ludhiana, Jalandhar and Amritsar, generating plenty of buzz around the Green Drive project and the need to plant more trees. From our perspective, opting for the Scorpio-N worked in our favor way better than we could have anticipated, as it helped draw attention to the message we were trying to spread thanks to the crowds it attracted wherever it went. The northbound convoy of the Scorpio-Ns left the plains behind, entering the foothills of the mighty Himalayas in Jammu and Kashmir, as the glorious landscape began unfolding in front of our eyes.
And welcome back to the Green Drive project, and you're joining us at our last and final dealership before we head to the extreme east of India to plant our tree of unity. So far we visited 5 cities and 12 dealerships and have the soil from each and every one of these cities and plant the tree of unity, the reason why we started this drive. And of course it represents so much the mixing and blending of cultures of India, and it'll be such an historic journey. So let's not waste any more time, hop in the new Scorpio-N and get this show on the road.
Every every year we see a spectacle on the television which includes a lot of elephants being prayed to and a lot of action happening around the temple. Now the temple you see behind me is Vadakuttanam temple, and we are coming to you from that very place on the Green Drive project. It's a beautiful place to visit, and right now we'll go inside. We'll try to go inside because it's pretty late in the evening. I don't think they'll allow us inside right now, but have a look at it and really enjoy, and also enjoy the spectacle of the Scorpios behind me. So have a look at the Vadakuttanam temple and then we'll get moving on the road.
With security beefed up along the Jammu-Srinagar route thanks to the Amarnath Yatra, our convoy had to contend with unending police checkposts and restriction on vehicular movement. While a few phone calls and permissions from local authorities were enough to get us through some of them, our luck ran out after crossing the 8.5 km long Banihal-Kasigund tunnel, as J&K police directed us to a CRPF camp nearby for the night, an hour and a half from Srinagar, which was supposed to be our overnight halt originally. Certainly not ideal, but as they say, rules are rules. We took solace in the fact that at least we got to take in the breathtaking landscape of Kashmir that would have otherwise passed us by in the dark as we moved into Srinagar, driving through the city, turning heads and adding more trees to the kitty courtesy contributions from the region's dealer partners. Besides Zojila, the roads were nearly flawless throughout, and in all honesty, the difficult terrain encountered while crossing the pass adds to the thrill of driving. One that might get lost once the Zojila tunnel is up and running in the coming years. Although the convenience and the time saved thanks to the tunnel and improved connectivity to the region for the masses far outweighs the need to thrill the few. After a quick stop in Srinagar, we went to the dealership. They contributed saplings for our Green Drive project, and we stopped at Dal Lake and saw a bit of the city. But now we're on our way to Kargil, and here is the first difficult bit of road. This is the Zojila Pass, and as you can see, quite challenging. No issues for the Scorpios. The convoy is rolling forward without any hitches. But yeah, this is challenging, but it is so much worth it because of the absolutely stunning views that you get treated to over here. So let's cross this pass, head to Kargil, and then onwards to Lake to complete our journey.
You guys are doing a good job planting trees, especially in this region. Land is very fertile, so the only problem here is like the trees don't grow naturally, so it has to be planted.
Okay.
So it's a good initiative from your end that you are doing such good work here. So we, as a local, we really appreciate your work.
The last leg of our journey was quite an adventurous one, with the roads lined by the signature coconut trees. The orange fruits not only look vibrant but also taste rather good, a must have if you are in this part of the world. But our eyes were on the road to Kanyakumari and a little nursery deep within the town.
As we continued along to Kaho, the vistas got even more beautiful. Clouds lazily hanging on cascading green mountainsides, often set to a lazy river or a gushing waterfall, were an elixir for the tired soul. We reached our final halt in Walong in the Dong Valley, tired but with rejuvenated spirits. The next morning when we set off for Kaho, how extremely east we were was confirmed when our phones began to pick up network again. Only this time, it was from Chinese service providers. Kaho gets its name as the first village of India because it's the first one to be touched by the light of day as the sun rises in the east.
We're driving on NH1 right now, the Srinagar-Leh highway, on our way to, of course, Leh. And the scenery is absolutely majestic. This is a cold desert. Ladakh, of course, is a cold desert, but as you can see, there are patches of green which provides an insanely beautiful contrast in the scenery. And the other thing I wanted to point out was the incredibly beautiful roads. I mean, hats off to the Border Roads organization for making these roads despite the challenges, despite the high altitude and difficult terrain. The roads are super smooth. It's been an absolute joy driving the new Mahindra Scorpio-N on these roads. But it's time for us to head back inside, be on our way to Leh, reach the culmination of our journey. This is, of course, the last few days of our journey. Reach the culmination of our journey and, as we've been doing all along, plant more trees. Ladakh's high altitudes present more of a challenge to man than machine, especially if the machine in question is as capable as the Mahindra Scorpio-N that made light work of dealing with bad roads. Khardungla's peak elevation of 17,582 feet makes acute mountain sickness, or AMS, an ever-present concern. Spend a day acclimatizing in Leh and, once at these altitudes, move slow and move less, and you'll almost certainly be fine besides maybe momentary lightheadedness perhaps. Bursting at the seams with stunning views, the road along the right bank of the Nubra River towards Siachen Base Camp made the long drive, grueling at times, absolutely worth it. A mere glimpse into the history of the Siachen Glacier and the level of commitment with which our armed forces have been securing the region despite its nearly uninhabitable nature, and all the sacrifices they've made over the years filled us with immense pride. And the appreciation from those posted here for the Green Drive project certainly made the drive all the more worthwhile.
Meanwhile, the western leg of the journey closed in on its final destination as the convoy passed through Bhuj, heading towards Lakhpat. This region experiences high wind speeds throughout the year, thus making for the perfect spot for windmills that generate clean energy for the surrounding areas. The west leg of the Green Drive project has finally reached its ultimate destination, which also happens to be the westernmost point of India. This is the Lakhpat Fort, an important historical site to mark an equally important initiative. The Green Drive project, which started off with 24 cars travelling to all four corners of India, covering a total distance of 17,000 kilometers, but more importantly, with an aim to plant 17,000 trees. Now, we will be planting even more trees and also taking care of them. And this comes at a crucial time where the need of the hour is to plant more trees because of the rising concerns over global warming. With newer cars like the Mahindra Scorpio-N, internal combustion engines are nearing their peak where they're much cleaner than ever before, but we're starting to see this marked shift towards using sustainable fuels rather than conventional fossil fuels. With this initiative, the Green Drive project, this is our contribution to give back to nature, and we urge you to do your little bit and plant as many trees as possible because we need more trees.
आज यहाँ पे नुब्रा वैली के सुमुर गांव में ग्रीन ड्राइव करके यहाँ पे इनिशिएटिव बाय महिंद्रा एंड पूरे इंडिया टुडे का टीम लीड बाय मिस्टर दौरफ यहाँ पे आए हुए हैं। और ग्रीन ड्राइव के प्रोजेक्ट में यहाँ पे हमने सिंबॉलिक वे पे एक प्लांटेशन किया है। अभी बहुत सारे लोगों को ये अवेयर भी नहीं है कि हमें ये ग्रीन हाउस गैसेस कैसे कम करना है, और सबसे सिंपल तरीका है कि प्लांटेशन ज़्यादा करो, और इसका इनिशिएटिव आप ऑल ओवर इंडिया में ले रहे हैं। तो मुझे यही उम्मीद है कि बहुत कुछ इसमें से हमें इफ़ेक्ट देखने को मिलेंगे आने वाले सालों में।
We made it all the way to the northern extreme. North team has made it. The 6 Scorpios are also here. We planted a tree in Nubra in an eco park, so that tree is taken care of. And that one tree, actually we planted 2 trees. That's merely symbolic. What we're doing across the country is planting tens and thousands of trees, and we urge you to also contribute in a similar fashion to at least give back to an extent all that we've taken from Mother Nature.
Hundreds of kilometers And it all boils down to this. We are on the Green Drive project, we are the southern team, and we have reached Kanyakumari, and all for a very special reason. Well, this is the little plant which has been traveling with us from Mumbai, and we are in Kanyakumari in a beautiful location where we'll plant this tree, where it will be nurtured forever. This will grow, this will further add to the greenery of the nation. So here we go. We are at Kanyakumari, and this is the spot where we are going to plant not one but 2 trees. There's a local fruit here which we are going to add to the number. So overall it's going to be really interesting, and we also have a very special guest with us. I will introduce him to you as well, but before that let me show you the kind of love we've got on the way. So all through the journey we've got these bags of soil from across the country. Like you can say this is from Hyderabad. So all this will go into the planting of the trees. Thank you for giving us the time, sir.
Oh, sure, welcome. My name is SP Uday Kumar, and I am from the southernmost tip of India, Kanyakumari. I am very happy that Auto today is undertaking this Green Drive project throughout the country. This is exactly what the country needs now, because we are facing climate change disasters one after the other. Right now, today, this particular Kanyakumari district is under red alert for heavy rains. It looks like it's going to rain very heavily tonight, and this kind of cloud bursts, heavy rains and flooding, all these things happen very frequently because of climate destruction. So what we need right now is planting trees, any number of trees all over the country. We need to green the country, we need to green the planet. So thank you for making me part of your effort.
Almost 5,500 kilometers since we started our drive in Kandivali. We are here on the easternmost edge of India, a little village called Kaho in the Dong Valley. That is the last village of India before China and Myanmar start on the east. Of course, we are here to plant our tree of unity and bring our epic drive to an absolutely epic end. So let's not waste any more time and head in and plant our tree of unity. And with that, our Green Drive project on the eastern leg comes to an end. But we've planted thousands of trees all along the way. But I think the ones that I'm going to remember the most are these 5 trees that we planted in this little school in Kaho at the very edge of India. And out of these 5 trees, of course, there's one that I'll remember for the rest of my life. And it's been a truly humbling experience bringing soil from all across the eastern belt to plant this one tree that we are calling our tree of unity on the east. And this is that tree. I hope it grows well, and I hope to be back someday to see it soon.